Hi, everyone. I'm Daniel Kester. I'm president of the Foundation for Jewish Philanthropies, or at least I am for 3 more weeks. And along with Margie Bryan, president of the Buffalo Jewish Federation, we welcome you to this combined business meeting for both the Foundation and the Federation. This is the 4th consecutive year that our organizations have joined together for our respective annual meetings. The Federation's 121st and the Foundation's 114th, but we're catching up. It's gratifying to the Foundation and the Federation to continue to work closely together to assist and guide the future of Jewish Buffalo.
Thank you, Dan. I think I have to be extra tall here. That's not going to work. My name is Margie Bryan, and I'm the president of the Buffalo Jewish Federation. It's a pleasure collaborating with you to advance both agencies' work along with our Jewish Buffalo agencies and organizations. Our program tonight gives us an opportunity to conduct our agencies' respective business and governance obligations, and for Dan and I to reflect on our accomplishments of our agencies to date. We are excited to hold this meeting here at Orchard School. We are grateful to the school's leadership for welcoming us this evening. Now I'm honored to invite Mark Brown to say a few words, followed by his recitation of the names of individuals who passed away since the last joint annual meeting. Mark?
Thank you, Margie, and thank you, Dan. There we go. My name is Mark Brown, and I'm the Vice President and the Development Chair for the Buffalo Jewish Federation. Given that we are fortunate enough to be here tonight at Ortamimim, I would like to spend a few minutes discussing this great space and the importance of Jewish education based on my personal experience in the community. As a parent, I have seen firsthand the fine work done by Rabbi Shanowitz and the teachers here at Ortamimim. The education in this school is absolutely commendable, and it is very satisfying to see my children and their peers being provided with opportunities to excel in multiple areas of study. In fact, I was here a few weeks ago to visit Mrs. Yehudis Khanan's class to discuss what it was like to work as a lawyer, and I was extremely impressed with the questions asked by each student about our legal system. Our eldest son, David, excelled in his studies here at Ortamimim, and this past year took what he learned to excel at Yeshiva Or Chaim up in Toronto. Our daughter, Deborah, and our son, Joshua, have a few more years yet to go, and I know that they will continue to thrive as this school prepares them for high school and beyond. So a special thank you to Rabbi Shanowitz and Rachi and the entire staff. Finally, as a community member and officer of the Buffalo Jewish Federation, I'm very happy to be part of a continued support for Jewish education in Buffalo, including Ortamimim, which is a recipient of our annual partner grant. I know that the funds we raise as a community will be used to help our current students take the foundational values of Judaism and Jewish community to advance their studies and ultimately be contributors to their future communities, maybe even back here in Buffalo after they graduate. Now I'd like to shift gears to another very important area. So I'd like to please join me in remembering our dear friends and supporters of both the Federation and the Foundation for Jewish Philanthropies who have passed away since our last annual meeting. The list is found in your pamphlet, but I'm going to read through the names. Doris Bookbinder, Harvey Breverman, Judith Brody, David Buck, Gerald Cantor, Carol Chernick, Evelyn Cohn, Leslie Dementer, Marvin Dubin, Virginia Ellis, Adrian Feldman, Shirley Feldman, Beverly Cookie Feinberg, Dr. Jane Vogel Fishman, Selma Friedman, Gerald R. Gardner, Florence Gelman, Marlene F. Glickman, Samuel L. Golden, Dr. David Lewis Hannaford, Edward Eisenberg, Renee Joffe, Arlene Kissen, Eve Komel, Alan L. Kranitz, Ruth Lansing, Elizabeth Lewin, Marshall L. Lippman, Russell Lipsitz, Renata Mihuk, Betty Miller, Naomi Mintzer, William Munkharsh, Sarah Nozinski, Barbara Organic, Anna Post, Esther Post-Mentor, Annette Potenza, Dorothy Present, Janet Presser, Shirley Raccoon, Michael A. Rosen, Jane Lewis Rustlander, Doris Schur, Barbara Schulafand, Robert Chappie, Gertrude Sloan, Robert Stoklosa, Gary T. Traeger, Betty Ann Umoff Joseph, Norma Uner, Bernard Weinstein, Erwin Weinstein, Sydney Weiss, Sylvia Weiss, Herbert Weiss, John Werbo, and Libby Wolfgang. Now I'd like to welcome Dan Kester back to the podium.
Thank you, Mark, for reading all those names. May their memory always be a blessing. We will now begin the Foundation's brief business portion of our meeting. Here comes the sound man. Thank you. How's that? Okay. We're going to start off with a report. We're going to have the business meeting of the foundation. We're going to start with that. I want to thank everyone here who worked behind the scenes to bring this event together, both the hall and the food. Thank you for everyone who was involved in that. Now we'll have a representative of our governance committee give a brief governance report, and that'll be done by Craig Small.
Hi, good evening. I'm standing in for Esther Corderone, who couldn't be here tonight, but I'm going to tell you about the 2025 recommendations for governance. And in 2025, we'll have Irv Levy as our executive director. The new board members, effective on January 1st, 25, include Kim Babbitt-Yanati, Tracy Drury, Jordan Fogel, Larry Levin, and Rick Pinkowski. The new board officers as of January 1st, 2025 include Craig Small as president, Jeff Bagel as vice president, Brian Snyder as vice president, Rick Steinberg as vice president, Kim Babbitt-Yanati as secretary, and Penny Howard as treasurer. While I have a minute, I'd like to thank a few individuals who are leaving the board. They include Saneth Rapask, I think I mispronounced his name, I apologize, Melissa Stevner, Jordana Mizell, and also want to congratulate Peter Allen Wyman, who was on our board for many years. He is becoming an acting Supreme Court judge, and he is no longer on the board, but we thank him for doing such a great job and wish him well as Supreme Court Judge, New York State Supreme Court. Thank you.
So the Foundation for Jewish Philanthropies has somewhat of a low profile here in town. I've had people come up to me and ask me how I'm enjoying being president of the Federation. And I'm like, no, that's Margie. And they're like, JCC? And I was like, no. And I say, I'm president of the foundation, and they're kind of give me a blank stare, and like, what's that? But we're here, we play an important part in the community. An organization like the foundation can appear to just be doing the same year after year, just coasting along, not changing much, just doing its job. You know, money gets sent to the right charities. We don't lose anyone's money. Everyone's happy, right? But one thing I've learned in the last 7 or so years I've been on the foundation board is that it actually is a very dynamic organization, and it's changed a lot in recent years. So something like probably about 7 or 8 years ago, I was meeting with Peter Fleischman when he suddenly asked me if I could be on the board of the foundation. Figured, sure, that sounds like fun, interesting, so I said I would. And the board was very different back then. We met 4 times a year, had a nice dinner at the Buffalo Club, listened to what Peter had to say, but we were basically what I would call a rubber stamp board. There was not much discussion, and in between board meetings, we really didn't do much of anything. And I remember myself and another board member, we asked to have like an orientation so we could find out what exactly the foundation did and how it functioned. So that was helpful. But now, as foundation president and being on the board for this many years, I'm really proud of how things have changed in the intervening years. One of the big changes is the role of the board. We now have a very active and involved board, maybe one of the most active ones in the Buffalo Jewish community. Everyone is active in some way. We have an investment committee that reviews how the foundation's assets are invested. We have development and marketing committees. They give direction and ideas on how we can grow. We have audit and budget committees, governance, scholarship committee. We have subcommittees such as the strategic planning subcommittee. We even have a subcommittee to review our various committees. Why all this bureaucracy? The reason is because the professional staff of the foundation is only 6 or 7 people. And they're great at what they do, but they can't do everything. And that's where our board comes in. So I want to thank all of the board members, both the continuing ones, the ones coming off, and the new ones, for all that you have done and all that you continue to do and will do. You are what makes this foundation board a really great board. With everyone working together, everyone contributing in some way, a lot gets done. And I want to, again, thank the people leaving the board, Melissa, Sanath, and Jordana. It's been a pleasure working with you, and I thank you for all that you've done. I also want to thank the foundation staff. It's been great getting to know all of you, and I really admire all that you do. You're a small team, but you do an amazing job, so thank you. So what has changed, or what is new at the foundation? One thing is the Life and Legacy program. That's only been in for about 2 or 3 years. It's a program to get community members to leave monetary gifts to the various Jewish organizations in town through legacy giving. In other words, gifts after people die, in their will or whatever. Previously to this, people would give their annual gifts to whatever organizations they were interested in, their synagogue or the JCC or whatever, federation. But there was very little legacy giving or planning going on. That has changed. Now there is. And this has really been a major change in the giving culture of the Buffalo Jewish community. And it's a very important one because as the community shrinks, we will need the endowments that will come out of this legacy giving for the future of Jewish Buffalo. So everyone who's been part of this, thank you for that. Another big improvement at the foundation is the donor portal. Now previously, if a donor wanted to make a gift or to find out their fund balances, they need to contact Irv or someone else at the foundation. We now have moved into the 2020s, 2010s, and have online access to accounts. If you're a foundation donor and haven't tried the new portal yet, please do. You'll love it. And in order to get started, contact someone on the staff, and they'll give you a username and password. But highly recommend it. What else? Well, for many years, the foundation operated in the red, losing money every year. And thanks to the efforts of Irv and his staff, we now operate with a balanced budget every year. And this was not easy to do. And I congratulate the staff for that accomplishment. It's a major improvement. Another thing we've done recently is the development of a strategic plan going forward. We try to lay out what changes should take place, and we are now in the process of implementing those changes. We also had the first formal review of the director, Irv. We got input from most board members and also from most of the staff. As you can see, he's still with us, so he did okay. One of the most important changes has been improved ties with the rest of the Jewish community of Buffalo. As the Buffalo Jewish community continues to get smaller, it becomes more important for all of us to work together. The foundation itself has two main areas of expertise: accounting and development. We're now using those areas of expertise to help the other agencies in the community. Examples of this include the foundation now doing the backroom accounting for the Federation. We're also helping other organizations with their development work, in addition to helping them build endowments for the Life and Legacy program. We're helping with capital campaigns at the Cemetery Corporation, at JFS, at TBZ, and we're also involved with the community religious school. And I really hope and expect to see this working together as a community to continue and to grow in the coming years. Now, when I started as president, I was told that my most important job would be to find my successor, which was harder than it sounded. But we were able to find one in Craig Small, who will be the new president. I've known Craig for many years through Congregation Shir Shalom, and know that he'll be an excellent president. Craig is an attorney and has been active in the community for a long time. He's already jumped in and is doing lots with the foundation, and I feel good knowing the foundation. I'm leaving the foundation in good hands. So at this time, I want to thank both the foundation and the Buffalo Jewish community as a whole for providing me with the opportunity of being foundation president. It's been an honor for me, and I really appreciate the opportunity to do something for the community here. So thank you for that. And I really appreciate the trust that the community has put in me. And on that note, I will turn this over to our next upcoming president, Craig Small.
Hi, good evening. I'm Craig Small. And it's really nice to be here. It's an honor and a pleasure to be addressing you all. I'm very humbled, and thank you for being here and for putting up with another speaker from Philanthropies. As you all know, the Foundation for Jewish Philanthropies has been a Buffalo institution since 1911, and our mission is simple: to empower donors to give in meaningful and lasting ways. As the saying goes, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And that's how I feel about Philanthropies. Philanthropies is a well-oiled machine, and as I step into my new role, I'm humbled and proud to lead an already winning team. I'm no Josh Allen, but we definitely have some players who are worth their weight in gold. Our team at Philanthropies includes a tireless and dedicated philanthropy staff, thoughtful donors, a strong board, and a legacy of strong leadership. First, I want to extend my deepest thanks to Dan Kester for keeping Philanthropies on the right path. I have big shoes to fill. Also on my team is Executive Director Irv Levy, whose expertise, dedication, and passion are at the heart of everything we do. Thanks, Irv. We are also lucky to have playing for us executive board members including Jeff Bagel, Brian Snyder, Rick Steinberg, Kim Yanati, and Penny Howard. A huge thank you to each of them for volunteering valuable time to keep Philanthropies on task. I also deeply appreciate the members of our Board of Trustees who bring diverse perspectives, professional experience, and a shared commitment to Jewish Buffalo. And last but not least, I value the daily efforts of our dedicated professional staff, including Barb Miller, Rachel Sander, Ross McKellivick, and Linda Barrett. They are keys to our success as well. During the next 2 years, I want us to educate I want us to educate our donors and prospective donors on what we do. I want Foundation to engage in meaningful dialogue about the causes that matter to them. We want our donors' visions to become a reality. As we move ahead, we look forward to increased collaboration amongst our agencies. For example, many of our community agencies and synagogues are currently engaged in critical capital campaigns. Philanthropies is pleased to support those efforts. Clearly, our community needs to increase permanently endowed assets in order to ensure a secure future. Through our Life and Legacy campaign, as well as the capital campaigns, we are continuing to do that. Did you know that Philanthropies' assets are approaching $300 million? $300 million. Another goal I have includes doubling that endowment. Working together, nothing is impossible. Whether you are new to Philanthropies or not, we are here to help you make a difference in something you care about. Philanthropy is not only for the wealthy. It really is for everyone. Big or small, giving is powerful, gratifying, and meaningful. It may also be tax deductible. So you should consult either your financial advisor or a member of our own professional advisors committee to talk about the possibilities. In closing, we are guided by the drive to repair and better our world. We are making efforts to educate, inspire, counsel, and assist our donors to help others. It's a privilege to be part of such an extraordinary community organization. We look forward to including you in our mission that benefits so many. Thank you for being here tonight with us, and go Bills. And last but not least, Susan Gunzioric, if I pronounced your name correctly, Susan. Thank you. Okay.
Hi, I forgot my part. At this point in time, we're going to shift gears to the Federation board or official meeting, and I would ask Shelley Yellen to come up as the immediate past president to do his gig.
Good evening, everyone. I get to do the fun part of the evening, at least I think for the Federation, because I get to recognize our incoming board members and also acknowledge our outgoing board members. But it is a participation event because this is an actual meeting, and according to the bylaws, if you're a member, you're going to be voting. So please pay attention. Okay. So on behalf of this year's nominating committee that I had the privilege of chairing, the following individuals, in accordance with the Constitution and revised bylaws of the Buffalo Jewish Federation, have been nominated to serve a 3-year term as at-large members of the Board of Governors beginning January 1st, 2025. I'd ask if your name is called to please stand. Anne Marie Carasello, Marnie Marciano, Armand Morrison, Ron Sadler, and Sonia Young. Okay. Thank you. We didn't vote yet, so the following people are nominated for a second 3-year term as a returning member of the Board of Governors beginning January 1st, 2025. Corey Auerbach, Ken Schuman, Amelita Ortiz-Weinman. So now's the hard part. So I'd like to call the current membership of the Buffalo Jewish Federation for a vote. So I have to ask if there's a motion to accept the board members and those recommended for the second term. Ezra, I'll take yours. And then we need a second. Okay, thank you. So I really have to call the question. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any objections or abstentions? All right, there's a note in here that says a brief pause. So I did the brief pause. And the motion passes unanimously. Okay, and now there's a second part. I'd like to call a special meeting of the Board of Governors to elect the slate of officers that has been recommended by the nominating committee. The nomination for officers of the Buffalo Jewish Federation are as follows: President Marjorie Bryan, Vice President Mark Brown, Vice President Blaine Schwartz, Treasurer Sean Fryer, Secretary Deborah Goldman, and I'll continue to serve as immediate past president. So I'd ask the current members of the Buffalo Board of Governors please stand and vote. So if you're a member, please stand. Thank you. Do we have a motion to accept the slate of officers as presented? Thank you. And a second? A second, Jeff, thank you. So again, I call the question. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any objections or abstentions? Brief pause. The motion passes unanimously. And one more action. May I have a motion to adjourn the special meeting of the Board of Governors of the Buffalo Jewish Federation? Thank you, Deborah. And do I have a second to adjourn? Armand, thank you. All in favor of adjourning the meeting, say aye. Aye. Okay, so the meeting is adjourned. Thank you and congratulations to all. Now I'm very happy to invite Margie back to share her reflections with us on her second year as president of the Federation. Thank you all.
Okay, I'm very happy that everybody didn't jump up when he said, you know, the meeting's adjourned. That's good. So thanks. Now that the official required annual meeting business of the Federation and the Foundation is done, I wanted to spend a few minutes providing my reflections on this past year. It has been a year of profound challenges, but also one of amazing resilience and impact for our community. I'm honored to share some of the key moments from this year, a highlight reel of the Buffalo Jewish Federation's work, driven by the strength and unity of the Jewish community here in Buffalo. Since October 7th, a year ago, everything in our world has changed. The ongoing crisis in Israel has deeply affected us all. Hostages remain captive in Gaza, and the global climate surrounding Israel and the Jewish community has shifted in troubling ways. Anti-Semitism, hate, and violence have surged to alarming levels. This has reshaped the work of the Federation. We've had to step up our efforts in multiple areas, especially leveraging and expanding our established security infrastructure. We've increased our efforts to ensure visible security at communal agencies and synagogues and responded to anti-Semitic acts against individual Jews and the Jewish community. One key development has been the refocusing of our community relations team, formerly JCRC, under the leadership of Chair Harvey Sanders. This team has been working to strengthen old and build new relationships with civic, business, legislative, and faith partners across the broader Buffalo community, and engaging in new ways with the media as we focus to protect both our physical and social infrastructure. Education and visibility have become more critical than ever to combat the rising tide of Jew hate. Through partnerships developed by our Holocaust Education and Resource Organization, HERO, and the Community Relations Group, we have greatly expanded our reach into more K-12 school districts, engaging with 23 schools thus far this year, and actively working with elected officials to advocate for funding and awareness. Together, we've strengthened the fabric of our community, reaching out to allies and broadening our network of support. And we do all of this through the lens of establishing relationships. I'd like to now invite Kim Yanati to come up and share a reflection on an incident earlier this year between Ortimimine and Locust Street Art and the work that followed. Kim?
Good evening, and thank you to the Federation for this opportunity to share with you incidents involving the families of Ortimimim School. While I agree, and it's totally correct, that the Jewish Federation's community relations work is meaningful in combating anti-Semitism through dialogue and education, there are times where the education piece must come in the form of a strong, immediate, and aggressive response. Educating anti-Semitic offenders of the fact that we will not take overt behaviors sitting down is an important lesson to teach. Sometimes dialogue can only come after the offending party knows who they are dealing with. This past spring, Ortimimim reached out to Locust Street Art to bring ceramics classes to the students at the school. For those of you who don't know, Locust Street Art is a not-for-profit 501c3 organization that provides free or reduced cost art classes to the Western New York community. To make a long story short, Locust Street Art refused services to the school because they could not, quote, in good consciousness, work with a pro-Israel organization that supports the ongoing genocide in Palestine, end quote. That response was so offensive that it sent a grassroots movement into action. This was June, and we had had enough of watching campus protests and violence against synagogues and Jewish businesses without consequence. We were not going to let it happen here. Certainly, engaging in dialogue was going to be important, but before we were at a place for such a conversation, we needed to see the organization itself take responsibility for their statements, terminate Morgan Arnett, the author of the email. Frankly, we wanted them to feel the weight of their words and understand that their words have consequences, not just to us, but to them. So our grassroots group reached out to our contacts in the broader community, and Republican Chairman Michael Crocker, legislator Chris Green, who represents this legislative district, and Lynn Dixon, who's a U.S. Congressional Director of Community Relations, coordinated the local and national news outlets and prepared written statements drawing attention to the situation, pressuring the organization. In an interview, Legislator Green stated that he and the legislature would be scrutinizing the organization's further funding requests and guarding their grants to the organization until they are convinced Locust Street Art has changed their practices, educated themselves, and terminated Morgan Arnett. The story appeared in national news, where Lee Zeldin used the story as an example of the surge in anti-Semitism in New York State and in the country as a whole. Also, M&T Bank and the James Cumming Foundation withdrew their support. The online social media group, Stop Anti-Semitism, if you haven't heard of them, check them out online, picked up the story, which went viral. Locust Street Art received hundreds of emails from across the globe regarding this incident. Ultimately, Locust Street Art fired Morgan Arnett, publicly denounced her statements, and apologized. It was at this point we invited them to meet here in this room. We sat together for about 2 hours, talking, educating them on the importance of Israel to the Jewish people, asking questions, and personalizing the events that brought us together. It was made very clear that discriminatory behaviors not only violate their 501c3 status, but would not be tolerated, ever. It was an educational and meaningful conversation, and one Locust Street Art asked to continue going forward. So on behalf of our grassroots team, we hope the dialogue with Locust Street continues going forward. But if it doesn't, let the lesson that we are a strong, resourced community and will not be silent resonate for a long time to come.
Thank you, Kim, for sharing that important story. Shifting back to the Holocaust Education and Resource Organization, mid-year we transitioned our volunteer chair from Wendy Weisbrau to Armand Morrison. This shift came on the heels of our successful installation of the Righteous Among Nations mural on the wall of the Research Center at Roswell Park, a powerful symbol of our commitment to ongoing Holocaust education. One of the most exciting initiatives for 2025 is the arrival of the Mobile Museum of Tolerance, a project of the Simon Wiesenthal Center. This 32-seat wheelchair-accessible vehicle serves as a self-contained classroom. Just 3 weeks ago, Federation hosted 60-plus school administrators, legislative partners, and community leaders at an open house to see The Bus, which offers New York State curriculum-aligned workshops on the Holocaust, civil rights, propaganda, discrimination, hate, and dehumanization for students in grades 5 through 12. This resource is available to all Western New York schools at no cost. There are only a handful of these mobile units in existence, and we are hosting one right here in Buffalo. It's really exciting, so everyone hopefully will get a taste of this in 2025. In a world where the memory of the Holocaust can sometimes fade, our commitment to education ensures that future generations never forget the lessons of history. Projects like the Mobile Museum of Tolerance are a bridge, not just to the past, but to the future, where we strive to build a more tolerant and just world. Speaking of our future, LINC continues to empower the next generation. Under the leadership of Marnie Marciano and Kirsty Henry, LINC continues to make a profound impact on Jewish community engagement of young children and their families through PJ Library, now including 2 new initiatives, PJ Peer and our Hanukkah Toolkit. We're excited about our annual PJ Library Hanukkah party this Sunday at the KeyBank Center on the ice. In addition, we continue to develop programming focused on midlife engagement, our small group learning circles like men's and women's gatherings, our ongoing programs with the Jewish Women's Group Home, the launch of Next Gen Jewish Buffalo in partnership with the JCC, and so much more. Programs this year like Let's Talk Israel and Made in Buffalo have also further enriched the cultural and educational landscape of Jewish Buffalo and continue to bring a fresh energy to our community. Our belonging efforts continued this year with the purchase of a parcel of land at West Klein and North Forest from Temple Beth Tzedek to build a new state-of-the-art group home in collaboration with People Inc., designed to meet the needs of adults with severe developmental disabilities. With a project budget roughly $1.75 million, we are looking for both government and private funding. Ongoing operations of the home will be handled by People Inc. We are close to securing $500,000 in funding through Senator Gillibrand's office and are working to break ground next summer. Moving now to focus on Jewish life on campus, we are all aware that college campuses across the country have experienced a surge in anti-Israel and anti-Semitic activity, and here in Buffalo, we are not exempt. In response, we bolstered our support for Hillel of Buffalo by lending Mike Steckloff to serve as the agency's interim director. This has provided needed professional leadership to help grow student engagement, strengthen partnerships with senior university officials, and stabilize the organization. This partnership, along with our ongoing partnership with Chabad, has helped ensure that our college campus community remains strong and supported, and that Hillel has a path forward to become more self-sufficient. Our connection to Israel remains as vital as ever. This year, we led a meaningful solidarity mission to Israel, and we plan to do so again in 2025. Earlier this year, we were honored to host 3 active IDF soldiers who shared their personal experiences defending the Jewish state. And we also welcomed 2 families to Buffalo for a much-needed month-long respite, as each family had been living in a hotel since being displaced from their home after 10/7. All of these activities strengthen our community's ties to the people of Israel. In August, we hosted for the first time the annual Summer Celebration Golf Tournament at Transit Valley. Despite the rain, it was a wonderful event that brought our community together while also raising crucial funds to support Secure Jewish Buffalo. The event's success laid the groundwork for next year's celebration, which we are already planning for summer of 2025. We are always looking ahead and planning for funds to support future generations. This was the inaugural year of the Federation's Development Leadership Council led by Mark Brown. The important work of this group of volunteer leaders is really taking shape. This year, we successfully raised significant funds through special campaigns for Secure Jewish Buffalo, Hero, and the Cemetery Corporation. We made important strides in rethinking our corporate sponsorship efforts, doubling the dollars we brought in from 2023 to 2024. In its fourth year, we have maintained our incredible life and legacy momentum and reinvested in women's philanthropy. As we move into the second year of the Development Council, we're focused on building on what we have learned and continuing to find innovative ways to connect more donors with meaningful ways to give. A true highlight of this year was our September kickoff event, where nearly 400 people gathered together as a community, kicking off the 2025 campaign and celebrating the transition of our senior professional leadership as Rob Goldberg passed the CEO baton to Miriam Abramovich. The leadership transitions are not just about change. They are an opportunity to build upon the incredible foundation laid by those before us. Under Miriam's leadership, we are poised to reach even greater heights in the years ahead. Behind the scenes, we've also been working to streamline our operations to ensure we're functioning as efficiently as possible. By outsourcing our HR operations to the HR firm ESC and the accounting functions, as Dan mentioned, to the foundation, we're able to focus more resources on the areas where we can have the greatest impact. This year, we'll continue to refine our organizational structure and professional leadership team, ensuring that we remain adaptable and effective in the years to come. Looking ahead, as I enter my final year as president of the Federation, I am deeply grateful for the support and engagement of each and every one of you. Together, we have made an indelible impact, but our work is far from finished. In the year ahead, we will continue to build on our successes, secure the future of our community, and ensure that the Federation remains a strong and vital resource for generations to come. Before we close for the evening, we would like to recognize our outgoing board members along with a few special individuals. I'd like to recognize Jeff Blum, Iris Danziger, Ken Dauber, Jake Katz, Meredith Levin, and Harvey Sanders, each of whom have completed their terms of service on the Federation board. Thank you. We are grateful to each of them for their commitment to Federation and their many contributions to strengthen Jewish Buffalo. We have a special gift for each of you that will be hand-delivered to your home as a token of our appreciation. A special thank you to Amelida Weinman for her work as Women's Philanthropy Chair. Amelida embraced this role and provided leadership in this area, engaging women in our community to increase their level of giving. She extended her term for 6 months to accommodate our new calendar as well. So I thank her, even though she's not here. And finally, thank you to my friend Rob for being an amazing leader, mentor, and community convener for our Federation and Jewish Buffalo for these past 9+ years. Rob has shifted his role to a supporting role for the remainder of his contract, with a plan to stick around for some part-time work as long as we can keep it worthwhile for both of us. We are planning for several ways to celebrate him appropriately in the new year, including the establishment of a professional leadership development fund in his honor. So stay tuned for more details. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to our community. I am proud of what we've accomplished together, and I'm excited to see what we will achieve in the year ahead. We appreciate you attending tonight in person or virtually, and we officially conclude this evening's program and hope you all have a wonderful night and eat some more food because there's plenty here before you leave. Thank you.